Why do many EV dealers hate Biden's EV rollout strategy and don't want to sell EVs? Over the past few years, there's been significant growth when it comes to the world of EVs. They've been gaining more and more popularity every year, with their sales numbers going higher and higher. At that moment, EVs seem to be the future of the automotive industry, as everyone wants to look for a more environmentally friendly approach. However, the hype seemed to have stopped for several reasons. But long story short, people are not happy with Biden's EV rollout strategy. And because of that, EV dealers are refusing to sell any more EVs. But why is that? Let's find out, shall we? Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we'll look at the reasons why electric vehicle dealers hate Biden's EV rollout strategy and don't want to sell EVs. But before we continue, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing updates on your favorite cars. And with that, let's look at why many EV dealers hate Biden's EV rollout strategy. Over the past few years, we've been seeing some surprisingly quick growth in the EV market. However, even though it went for a couple of years on, it started to change. Since the early adopters of EVs encountered a lot of negative practical of electric car ownership, they're opting for the internal combustion engines. With this, the initial enthusiasm in the electric vehicle market has suddenly gone down. Even through all these struggles, Biden's administration seemed to be fixated on the over-ambitious electrification plan. This administration is still pushing to increase the number of electric cars on the road by 2030. The only problem is, people are no longer embracing electric cars as before. And so, at the end of it all, it is the dealers who are suffering the most. They're being forced to sell something that customers no longer want to buy. According to a survey done recently, more than 80% of dealers are now against Biden's electric strategy. And because of that, they're mostly refusing to sell electric vehicles. This has been caused by several reasons, most of which make more sense the more you think about them. First of all, Biden's plan is too aggressive. Ever since Biden stepped into office, I'm sure that you've come across him talking about his plan to make about 2/3 of the new cars all electric by 2032. This is not a bad plan, given that it'll really save the environment. However, car dealers are not at all happy with this plan, and this is because of several reasons. When you listen to all of them, it all boils down to the fact that the plan is way too optimistic. Of late, about 83% of the EV dealers think that Biden's administration is pushing a bit too hard for EVs. According to these dealers, the government is trying to force the automotive industry to move too far ahead of market demand. This is more like stretching out too much on something that is not even close to happening. At the end of the day, it's the dealers who know what the customers want. And according to the reports that have been going around, most people are still not interested in buying electric vehicles. Some of the major challenges that lead to this, which is what most customers have pointed out, are the cost, charging, and range of the cars. These are some of the reasons that customers are always worried about, which eventually leads them to get stuck with the internal combustion cars. Further studies have revealed that 41% of customers are strongly against electric cars. But given the recent trends, we're not really surprised about this. However, contrary to what you may think, customers are not at all against electric vehicles. In fact, they support it because it maintains the environment. The main problem comes with the officials imposing battery electric cars as the only road to zero emissions. They also want to have hybrids and plug-in hybrids, and in some cases, even hydrogen cars. Furthermore, they would want to still have gas engines that are more advanced and have lower emissions. Given the current adoption rate of EVs in the market, dealers are very sure that the widespread adoption of electric vehicles in such a short period will remain unattainable. Customers need to be given time to adjust to the new technology. Not only that, but the current regulations are way out in front of where the customers currently are. It's supposed to be the other way around, where customers lead and regulations protect them. Since a lot of customers are not embracing electric vehicles, it's become even harder to sell. This means that if dealers are going to sell the EVs, they have to put in almost twice the effort they used to. When the entire automotive industry was in a big supply chain crisis, which was mainly caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and war conflicts around the world, dealers made some great progress. Some might even say that these were some of their most successful years. However, this doesn't mean that they were making record high sales. Instead, they managed to mark some record high profits. Because of these supply chain issues, the balance between demand and supply was disrupted completely. This gave dealers the chance to impose massive markups that measured in thousands of dollars. And for the most attractive car models, this was more. Unfortunately for them, that era came to an end, and car makers were once again able to produce enough cars. This means that there's no room for massive markups anymore. Things took a turn for the worse when it came to electric cars. Simply put, they are beyond bad. Apart from the fact that dealers' lots have become some sort of EV graveyard, they're selling much slower than expected. All this simply means is that there are no markups on electric cars. When you also factor in that dealers now have to put in more effort into selling them, it becomes obvious why none of them are happy with Biden's administration pushing EVs too hard. When you consider this, salesmen are the most affected. This is because it takes way more time to sell an electric car. To better understand this, we can refer to Buzz Smith, a former salesman who is now an EV dealer trainer. He stated gas-powered cars mostly took no more than a single visit by the customer, which roughly meant no more than an hour to sell. On the other hand, electric cars usually take about 4 visits, which is about 4 hours just for the customer to agree to buy them. The main reason for this is that customers want to learn everything about the new technology and be 100% sure that buying an EV will be good for them. When you translate this to the world of salesmen, it means that they're volunteering to take a 75% pay cut, and that doesn't make any sense. Another issue that has greatly caused people to be against EVs is the infrastructural issues that come with them. But how is this related to dealers? You see, we've already stated that dealers know better than anyone what the customers are looking for, and so they're very familiar with their main concerns when it comes to buying an electric car. One of the things that they have constantly pointed out is that the infrastructure is not yet ready for massive electrification, even though the government has already invested billions in charging stations across the states. However, this is still not enough. The number of functional chargers is still insufficient, especially in rural areas. And even though they're better in urban areas, they're still not good enough. For urban areas, it's hard to rely on home charging, given that most customers live in apartments and they don't have a garage. So for these people, public chargers are the easiest solution. Furthermore, the existing chargers are still not enough because the majority of them are either not working or they're faulty. So at the end of the day, when people hear this, they prefer to stay away from electric cars, which in turn leads to fewer sales for the dealers. Dealers face quite several challenges when it comes to electric vehicles. And with the way Biden's administration is leading this revolution, it is hard for dealers to keep up. But what do you think about this? Do you think that the electric vehicle dealers are justified in refusing to sell electric vehicles? Feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments below. And before you go, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing updates on your favorite cars. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.